Everybody, welcome back to the NC State Insider Podcast. I'm your host and lead beat writer, Tucker Sennett, joining you here today to discuss NC State's bowl eligibility securing win over Florida State Friday night, a 21 to 11 win. And as I do for most of these home games at Carter-Finley Stadium, I just want to give you kind of the sights and sounds and what you might have missed from this one. At the Carter last night, it was rocking Military Appreciation Night. That was a big point of emphasis for Dave Doran throughout the week. Obviously, a big night given his roots as growing up in a military family, his wife growing up in a military family. He has great appreciation for our armed services, so he wanted to go out and put it on a show for them, and his defense put on a a battle-like performance in this game. This is a defense that had not allowed fewer than 20 points to a FBS opponent since the opening week of the season, a win over at ECU in which they allowed 17 points. Um, they went out and held one of what's been one of the more explosive offenses at times in the ACC to 11. I don't know where it came from. It was a combination of Florida State making some truly unbelievable blunders in this game, and then also an all-time performance by a couple players for the NC State defense, starting with Devon Marshall. It was, I mean, in person, I know it's being blown up on TV, but in person, just watching him with that size disadvantage against Deuce Robinson, who's 6'6". Marshall is listed as 6 feet. Some places he's listed at 5'11", others. He's not big. He really isn't. He's a small guy. He's powerful, but he's not very tall. He just took over the game. They clearly wanted to go to Robinson a lot. He's been red hot of late, and yes, he finished with 74 yards and a touchdown, but Marshall didn't have anything to do with that. In fact, he broke up six passes. Robinson was 2 for 9 on receptions against Marshall, and he finished with 40 yards, but 34 of those came on one catch. He barely had any yards after catch. The touchdown didn't come against Marshall. It was just a complete shutdown in front of NFL scouts. There were 9 scouts in the building. So Marshall was unbelievable. And then Caden Fordham getting the family bragging rights in this one. His dad went to Florida State. His younger brother is a Florida State commit. Fordham came out there, finished with 15 tackles, 4 solos, and really stepped up when this defense needed him to. And it was really just something. There was a play that I can't even begin to describe. I tried to describe it, and I realized halfway through typing it out on my Twitter, I'm like, this is going to take 3 tweets to describe what happened. But fourth quarter, well, I'll paint a picture for you. NC State's offense was far from perfect in this one. It did what it needed to do. That last touchdown pass to Joe Lee was really, really important. Before that, they're only up three. Florida State's come down the field fairly confidently, scored a touchdown and a 2-point conversion. Feels like this is trending towards another one of those NC State disappointments in 2025. And Dave Doran was going to be angry after the game because his defense played well, but his offense couldn't make things happen. Caden Noonkester comes onto the field to punt around midfield, maybe a little closer to the 40. Um, Boots it away. It's a short punt. He had been pretty reliable throughout the game. He's due for one of those every once in a while. Hangs in the air, hangs in the air, hangs in the air, and drops, and boom, off the helmet of a Florida State player. This ball rolled probably 25 yards back toward NC State. And who's there of all the people of the other 10 guys on the field for NC State and the 11 Florida State players? other than Caden Noonkester, the man who just punted the ball away. He's right there. He dives on the ball, NC State ball. They get to kill some more clock. He punts, and then NC State goes three and out, doesn't get a first down after Noonkester's play. Call Noonkester back out onto the field, boots it away again. It's a good punt to Squirrel White, one of the best dynamic, athletic skill players who, for whatever reason, Florida State has decided to shove in the cupboard. Um, and I'll touch on Florida State in a minute here, but White muffs the punt. NC State's there to recover. Trey Thomas. NC State's now inside the red zone, and it has a chance to score a touchdown, and they do. Bailey hits Jolie. Wolfpack goes up 21 to 11. Game's over. That's it. Two muffed punts on the same drive, if you want to call it a drive. Never seen anything like it. Truly, truly unbelievable. The kind of stuff that, NC State hasn't had in several weeks. The stuff that you need in a college football season to get you to a bowl game. And now NC State has that. Florida State is just baffling to watch. This is a team that has so much talent on both sides of the ball. And their defense, for the most part, did a fairly good job. They struggled with field position, obviously, but this offense is just it's puzzling because Tommy Castellanos, it seemed like NC State's game plan was, look, he's gonna run, he's gonna get his on the ground. We'll give him those 15 yards up the middle, but as soon as they get to the red zone, those don't happen anymore. There's not enough space for him to operate with, and then you make him make tight window throws, which is not his game. He was 16 and 32 in the game with 200 yards, a touchdown, and two picks. The last pick being that kind of game-ending loft to the sideline that was also Devon Marshall's second pick of the game. Um, but this offense is just it's inexplicable at times. Gus Malzahn, wants to run the ball, and then when he can't run the ball, it's a team that's designed to front run, and NC State never let them. Um, and to me, that's how you beat Florida State. That's why they have not won a road game in the ACC in two seasons now, and that's why they're probably going to miss a bowl game this year and be looking for a new head coach. So that's your brief Florida State sidebar. As for after the game, Dave Doran was in a good mood. The Red Solo Cup was out. We don't need to speculate on what was in the Red Solo Cup, but I think everybody familiar with NC State knows what's in the Red Solo Cup after a big win like that. And as in his words, he's ready to take on the baby blue next week. He expects a great crowd, and I won't use his colorful language that he used. And for a Thanksgiving week game, I think he'll get one. It's gonna probably be the biggest game of the year for NC State at home. Obviously, Georgia Tech, that win was massive, and that was a night game against a top 10 team, but this one feels personal. You got a Hall of Fame coach down the road who's sort of a wounded beast right now. It just seems like the stuff just piles on every week over there. And I think Dave Doran would love nothing more than to sort of end things for North Carolina this season in a real ugly way. I think they'd love to hang some points on that team and really just go into whatever bowl game they make with some serious confidence and have a chance to snap that bowl losing streak. But um, it was a really it couldn't have been a more different game for this NC State team than it was in Miami. And I know Dave Doran after the game said, we don't quit, but the team quit in that Miami game for good reason. There was no world where NC State was going to stop that onslaught of a defensive line, that onslaught of Malachi Tony and Carson Beck on target in that game. It just wasn't going to happen. So they came back to Raleigh. They got their ducks in a row, and they went out and played what I think could be, one of their two best complete football games this season. They played 4 quarters of defense. The offense did just enough. The special teams obviously had like God's blessing, or I've never seen anything like it with the special teams. It was just unbelievable. And sometimes that's what it takes to win football games. Just a little bit of offense here, a little bit of defense there, and some strokes of luck that you're not going to see ever. And that's what NC State got, and now they're 6-5, cruising into a massive rivalry matchup against North Carolina next week, Thanksgiving week, and yeah, should be a good one. Trying to think that covers most of the sights and sounds for you. That's all I got. One more week of football season, folks, and that well, actually, take that back. One more week of the regular season. As always, if you want more football content, you want some basketball content, I'll be covering Maui from home. Go ahead and follow me on X at Senate Tucker. You can follow the website on X at Wolfpack on SI, where we post all the stories. You can subscribe to the Sports Videos on SI YouTube channel to get my content and all of our other very exciting college content. We'll see you next time.